Okay, we are on YouTube live actually. And I think you can go ahead and get started, Nicole. Just basically, talking about Grameen, um and basically what um how it works, how it operates, how we can, help people, help businesses get more prosperity and create wealth. So, Nicole, take it away.
Okay. Hello everyone. My name is Nicole Reed, and I work for Grameen America. I am the outreach coordinator, a prior member as well. So I would like to share my screen and start off with a video. Let me
Okay.
share my screen. 1 second. Oh, wait, I can't. I'm not the host. It's okay.
Hold on 1 second.
No, it's okay. I'm used to being the host. But no, it's okay. I can just talk about it.
I have you. I got you ready.
Okay.
You can share your screen now.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, wait, hold on. Wrong one. Okay. Can you see that, Mari?
Yes, I can see it. Well,
Okay.
I see a blank screen right now.
Okay. Okay, good. Okay. Can you see me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Okay. So I like to start off. I just kind of start off with the very top. I wanted to show that Jennifer Lopez, which is a big deal, is a big deal to me because I am a fan of Jennifer Lopez, but it is a big deal because she is partnered with Grameen because she feels that Grameen is something that can help uh, minority women and Latino women. The very end, the second video where she says discipline, unity, and hard work. That is really the slogan, and that is the mantra that we start our meetings with and end with. That is the slogan of Grameen. So a little bit about Grameen. Again, my name is Nicole Reed. I am the outreach coordinator for Grameen America. I am from Texas, just in case anyone hears a little slight accent. I've been in New York since 2019, and I was a member of Grameen since 2019 up until about almost 5 months ago. Grameen America is a nonprofit organization they fund minority women. The good thing about this is that they focus on minority women who are women who are unresourced and unbanked, basically, meaning that we don't have the capacity of capital. Since 2000, well, actually since COVID, really, there's been more minority women who have started businesses. However, we do not have the access to capital, which is a problem. Which brings me into the founder. The founder of Grameen America is Professor Muhammad Yunus. He was a accountant in Pennsylvania. He has won the Nobel Peace Prize from Obama for the work that he has done. Grameen America started off as Grameen Bank in 1976. He went back to Bangladesh to visit his hometown, and he saw that Bangladesh was in a famine. So what he realized is that most people had borrowed money from loan sharks, which was, the value of $27. So he paid the money out of his pocket, and he had this idea. He basically said that, now this is in Bangladesh. So he's speaking these words in 1976, Bangladesh, third world country. He says that, I feel that poor people will pay you back out of gratitude. But the most important, he feels that everyone has an entrepreneur skill, meaning that everyone has some kind of talent where they can be an entrepreneur. So what he did was he actually pulled money out of his pocket and he funded his village. And, back then people were bartering. I'm from Texas, so bartering is a big deal, the Wild West, right? So, people actually, got money to buy cows so they could, trade milk for eggs and things like that. There's actually a video I like to refer people to, which is called To Catch a Dollar, which you can find on YouTube. It's really everything that I'm saying, and it's how Grameen Bank got started. It was Grameen Bank in Bangladesh. He served, other countries, Somalia and other ones. He decided to come to the United States in 2008, which is hence now the name Grameen America. The first branch was started in Queens, New York. They're 6,000 strong. So basically, again, what Grameen does is that, if I can just sum it up, what Professor Yunus is really doing, his mission, and he still continues, is that he wants to bridge the gap in terms of minority women, for one, getting capital. And the most important to me is really empowering women. He's given women back in Bangladesh is where it started, and he still has the same mission, is that he's given women a sense of power in their household, in the community, and in business. And not in empowerment in terms of, like I'm an independent woman kind of thing, but just a voice. When he started off in 1976, he did give finances to men and women, for those who are asking why only women, because Grameen gives microloans to women. What he found was when he gave the money to men and women, men partook their savings, or not really savings, but their profits, and went into entertainment. Whereas women put the money back into their community. They put it into their children's education, in terms of if they need shoes or clothing to go to school, they did that. They hired people in their community. So they basically had a voice and expanded their community. And that's the reason, as of now, that he gives the money to women, because he is looking to empower communities. He wants to really focus on the woman who is in a situation where either, they want to impact their bottom line, financially enable their bottom line. And from what he see, that is to, start a business. The funding is for business only. It is not to, I'm going to catch up on my rent. It is not designed for that. Again, I can't really paint the picture or pound on it more, that the money is given an opportunity to change the bottom line. So the money is to start a business, whether you have an idea of a business, you want to start your business, or grow or expand your business. There is room for all that. Grameen America does not check credit. We do not ask for proof of your finances, neither if you have proof of a business. A lot of people may ask, well, this is not for me because I have good credit. It's not designed for that. It is designed, again, this business started in 1976, and he has brought the model over still, and he continued the same model. The reason he does not check the credit and ask for finances is because back then, a lot of people didn't really understand. It was very intimidating. But his overall picture is that he wants to keep people away from the sharks. The sharks is banks. Grameen is designed to give you an opportunity, to give you money. We're not designed to find ways of not giving you money. So the reason that he doesn't check credit is really simply that is the one reason. The second reason is he doesn't check credit because his model is this. He believed that, and this is not a pyramid scheme, so you have to hear me out. He believes that every woman should bring at least 4 women that you know. And the reason that he does that, this is because of the credit, right? He doesn't check credit, but however, if you're starting a center, if you're starting a group with ladies that you know, with ladies that you trust, with ladies that you respect, whether they're your friends or just other entrepreneurs, it could be your hairstylist that you know that is there every week. She started a business. She's my regular hairstylist. She's been doing my hair for years. I know this woman is about her business. I used to be a yoga instructor. It could be your yoga instructor who you know is about their business. They're not your friends, but they're people that, and colleagues, because they're entrepreneurs and you're entrepreneurs. So these are people that he says, you start a business with. And the reason that if you know them, you're going to be more invested, meaning that you're going to simply care about them. You're going to care about them as an individual. You're going to care about their business. You're going to care about the success. More importantly, the credit part is that if you know someone, like if I have, my friend here or someone who I did commercial real estate with, if I'm in a group with them, I'm going to make sure that my payments are paid back. So it's what he is really is bringing is the social pressure, and social pressure, not bullying, but it's just social pressure in terms of these are people that I know, so I have respect for them. The bigger picture is that he's trying to build community. He's trying to build where, as minority women, we come together, and by coming together, we will uplift our families, uplift ourselves, and build our communities. That is really the reason of having 5 women starting the center. And one person may know other 4 people, but it's people that know each other, because now this is a small collective of a big picture. The big picture is Grameen America, right? I mean, we have different centers and branches in New York, New Jersey. We just opened up Atlanta, North Carolina, and Texas. Texas is really big. So we're in Houston and Dallas, and I believe in San Antonio. So you're going to be a part of this big structure. Now, the thing is that there are a lot of women, again, just because it says they don't check credit, they don't do it, ask for finances. These are ladies that, have brick and mortars here in New York. These are ladies who can say, I no longer need a microloan from Grameen. But the reason that I was a part of Grameen, and I'm an entrepreneur. I direct and produce stage production and film, and I have 2 other side businesses. But the reason that I am a part of Grameen, and a lot of women continue to stay in Grameen who are 6 figures, who have great credit, some are lawyers, is because of the community. We are in a community of minority women. And it's just, how many times can you be with like-minded people and you can have walked in the same shoes that someone else have? You have the humble beginnings of where they started. You can understand that. It's hard to understand someone who says, oh, I just want to tell you about a bank. They have, 1.1% interest on their business, and they have the opportunity to go in. And although you have good credit, you're a mechanical engineer, you make over 6 figures, you go in and get a business loan and you can't get one. Those are not my credentials. Those are someone else who was a part of Grameen. But however, that's really the big global part of being a part of Grameen. Grameen, like I said, they give microloans. The loans range from $500 to $15,000. Initially, they start off anywhere from $500 to $1,500. The loans are for 6 months, and they're paid back weekly. And the only thing that Grameen asks for back is time. And what time looks like is this. I'm the outreach coordinator. So say, for an example, someone out there in YouTube land is like, I'm all in. I have my 5 women. What do I do next? Now this is like an infomercial. Okay. So you would say, hey, I'm ready. How can I get her information? So what 5 days, the first time looks like is 5 days of CGT training with me. What that is just basically a repeat of what I'm saying, just spread out in 5 days. This is the first credibility of Grameen. Everything is done on Zoom. Nothing is in person. Since COVID, we started doing Zoom, and we just continue because we have a lot of entrepreneurs. It's easier to get on Zoom versus get in your car and come down to a branch. So what it is just 30 minutes on Zoom, 5 days. It doesn't matter what time. I'm very flexible. If you say 7 a.m. on Monday, 9 a.m. on Tuesday, it doesn't matter. The group, you ladies would tell me what time. Again, it's, and this is just spread out. After the 5 days, then it's just 1 day a week. whatever time, the ladies decide, the group, and it's done. And this is just regular Zoom meetings that is done. It can start at 7 a.m. up to 12:30. And the reason to 12:30 p.m. is because after that time, we have to do all of our admin work. What happens during that time is it's just basically like a networking event. Instead of being in person, you're here on Zoom. Business transactions take place. All the loans are paid back during that time, actually the day before the center meeting day that you select. Any loan proposals are done during the Zoom 30 minutes. Your pitching, and I'll go over the pitch process, is done in your center. And then after that, you would network and you talk with the ladies and discuss any kind of business or any kind of, they say good news, but I always say sometimes good news is not always good news. Sometimes you need to talk about, what obstacles you have. So this is a time to talk about whatever it is you need to talk about, any other things that you need in your business. Not only does Grameen provide finances, but we also provide education in terms of whatever it is that you need. We'll bring out a third party. We partner with Capital One as well as TD Bank to go over a business plan, credit awareness, just different things. And if you need some things, there are ladies, again, they're very established ladies that are part of Grameen America that can provide, brand strategy, social media. How do I make money on social media? Different things. Back into the loan process. So the way that, again, after 6 months, Grameen is designed just the way a business grows. You start off with your first initial loan. And again, I'm going to repeat this, anywhere in between 500 and 1,500 for the first loan. So someone needs 500, somebody needs 1,500, somebody needs only 1,000. It's anywhere in between. After 6 months, as the business grows, you get more money, right? So you get increments. The increments are $750, but you're eligible for, after your first 1,500, you're eligible for $500 plus the $750. So I believe, if I'm doing the math, it's $2,750. And then after that, you get $750 every 6 months, and it continues to grow. After the 6th and 7th cycle, the $750 increments, they increase to 1,000. After the, I believe it's 8th and 9th cycle, 8th or 9th, one of those, the increments they increase to $1,500. So every 6 months, you're getting that increase. Once you reach $10,000 to $15,000, then it's just a repeat. That's the reason it's a microloan, because it doesn't go beyond $1,500 or 15,000. Sorry. So every 6 months, you would just repeat and get 10,000, 12, or 15,000, whichever, wherever you are in your increment. There is an interest. The interest is, and you have, again, this is something you have to hear me out on, because there is a little math involved. So the interest rate is 18%. However, every interest rate is done annually. It's not by design, oh, we're going to just do it for 3 months or quarterly. It's done annually. So since the loans are for 6 months, you would take that 18%, you're divided by 2, then you get 9%. Now, since the loans are paid back in 6 months, then you would take that 6 and divide it by 9, and you get 1.5%. So on a declining balance. So every time you're making a payment on your loan, it is 1.5% on a declining balance. And this is an example of what that looked like. And I'm just throwing numbers out. So say if you get $1,500, there's a calculation, 1.5% is going to be your first interest. That's going to be the highest interest that you pay. Say, for an example, the interest is $7, right? And you pay $100. So now you have a balance of $1,400. So now there's a brand new recalculation. This is what I mean by declining balance. A recalculation of $1,400, and say your interest is, I don't know, let's just say $6.50. Let's just say $6. So now it's going down. So the highest you're going to pay is that $7, and then it's going to go down again, another $100, $1,300, $5. So it's going to continue to go down. That's the reason it's the declining balance. I wish they would kind of spread that out, because a lot of people see 18% interest and they think it's, whoa, that's high. Normally, the way interest rates run is that, say, if you're going to finance a car, you finance it for 36 months and you pay 18 or 9 or whatever percent, that you'll know when you're walking out of whoever's doing your loan, whether it's the car company or your bank, you'll know exactly how much interest you're going to pay for the life of the loan. Well, Grameen is not like that because it's on a declining balance. So it changes. And by the time you get down to your, the last few payments, you're paying like literally like cents, like 50 cents, 40 cents, or whatever case may be. Again, the requirements for Grameen is very simple. Again, I'm going to make this list again. We don't check credit. We don't ask for proof of finances if you're working or anything like that. We don't even ask if you have proof of a business. But what is required, again, is time, the first 5 days. And then after the first 5 days is once a week. The second thing is your credentials. What is required is that you have a valid ID. It could be in any state. It could be a passport. My ex-husband was Navy. So if you have a military ID, whether you are active duty or dependent, any kind of government issued ID is acceptable. A social security card. There's a lot of people who have lost their social security card. So if you have a number, what is accepted until you get the card is if you file for online, very quick, you go online and you file for a new social security card. That confirmation letter of that you have filed for a new social security card is valid because it shows that you do have a card, you just lost it and you need another one. The third thing is proof of address. Proof of address is anything like a utility bill. It could be a light bill, gas bill, water bill, a bank statement, anything from the hospital, like a hospital bill, not a explanation of benefits. Car insurance doesn't work. I'm not sure about medical insurance. Mail, it could be, like I said, a credit card bill or your banking account. It cannot be any junk mail. Junk mail is something that says that, we're offering, you bank at Bank of America, we're offering you a discount for car insurance. It shows that maybe you possibly did business with Bank of America, whichever bank that is. But however, what shows that you're doing business is an exchange. You're making a deposit. So that shows that you are a member of a credit union or that you have an active account. Cell phone bill works. So anything that has a New York address, that is the fourth thing. You have to live in New York. Since we're on Zoom, it can be anywhere in New York. So that's the beauty of being on Zoom. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that is missing in terms of information. I would normally like to open up to any questions. I just kind of like to hit on the major things and then just open up if anyone has any questions.
Yes, so I'm gonna ask a few questions. So the first loan, first of all, I want to start with the groups. So you recommend that you find 4 women that you know. How do people normally, just kind of get started? How do they contact Grameen to get started?
Okay, so well, in terms of contacting, this is a contact. Nicole Reed, Murray's a contact. So I would be the one that is actually doing the onboarding, if you will, doing the training. So you can also call the headquarters, or you can go to GrameenAmerica.org, which I advise everyone to. I'm a due diligence kind of person. I'm a research kind of person. I like to know what I'm getting into, especially when it comes into finance. So I would recommend that everyone goes to GrameenAmerica.org and just kind of see the history of Grameen. Also, I strongly recommend watching the video, which I didn't know about the video until I was actually in training, To Catch a Dollar. It lets you know all about Grameen and how it got started, which is on YouTube. It's a documentary. The good part about Grameen, there's a lady, her name is Alethea Mendez. She was the first or second employee. She is now the division president. So she's been with Grameen for a long period of time, and she's still active. Everyone that's in the video is still with Grameen. So in terms of, and again, I can put my email in the chat, or you can get it from Mari. Well, actually, I can put it in the chat, or Mari can put it in the chat. That's how you'll get a hold of me. But in terms of getting the 5 ladies, again, it can look so many different ways. Let's just start with this. the definition of that is getting 4 other ladies or more that you know and trust. Right there. Start there. Know and trust. It could be your sister. You can say, you know what, I want to bring my mother, and then sometimes you may not know everyone, but your sister may know someone, or your mother may know someone. And then that person may know someone else. And as a collective, now you have, your 5 or maybe 8 ladies. Secondly, again, because in my cell phone, I have over 2,000 contacts. I'm an entrepreneur. Again, I come from Texas. I'm in the entertainment business. In Texas, I was a yoga instructor. I come by way of DC. I did commercial real estate. Here I do, I have other businesses. So with that alone, I have other entrepreneur colleagues. So those are people that I may not say, hey, come over and watch, some football with me. But, we have never been into each other's houses. But however, we do contact and we call each other if we need something like, oh, I'm looking for someone who does this. So those are people that if you don't have any friends, those are the people that I would recommend, because I've always said that me personally, I don't have any friends. I mean, I know Mari. So Mari's a friend of mine. I would definitely entrust Mari and anybody else she brings on. But I don't have any friends. Even when I started my business, I said I wouldn't hire my friends because their work ethic is not strong enough. We can have a glass of wine and come over for dinner, but not working. So, and Professor Yunus said the same thing. He said back then in '76, everyone says I have no friends. So it's common that the people that you hang out with are not like-minded people, because when you're starting a business, again, I left Texas in 2015 on my way to New York. I was going to wind up in New York. When I left, a lot of, and I'm from Dallas, a lot of people, work for Fortune 500 companies and they make really good money. In Texas, we're like, you get a good job, you go to college, you get a good job, you get a house, you have a family, happily ever after. So here it is, me wanting to see the world and want to start a business. There was nobody that I could relate to, because everybody's like, girl, you're crazy. Just keep doing what you're doing. And I'm like, no, I want to see the world. So I could not bring on my friends because we weren't like-minded, so they didn't understand the business aspect. So that's the reason I stretch it and say anyone that like your hairdresser, anyone that who is serious about their business is someone that me personally, I would bring on.
Yes, I know a lot of people that are serious about their business. So I know that's why they're so excited about this experience with Grameen and this opportunity. The other question I wanted to ask was the orientation. Mm-hmm. What is the orientation like? How long is it? And, what are the ways that people get to know about Grameen through the orientation process?
Okay, so so one part I want to hit on that I missed is that there is no any kind of startup fee. There's no membership fee. There's nothing to start. The only thing that you pay is the interest from the loan, and that's it. In terms of what it looks like, again, it's just the 5 days of CGT training, which is called Continued Grameen Training. That could be, again, I'm very flexible. So fortunately, your outreach coordinator is a business owner. So I am always available, which a lot of people wouldn't want to say that if you're, but I am always available. So this is what it looks like. For an example, if there is someone I see that, right in the chat, I have my 5 ladies, can I start today? I would say yes. So what that looks like is just, again, we just start with the very beginning of, what I said. It's just 30 minutes of CGT training. It's done with slides, and it's just a repeat, literally a repeat of everything that I've said. So it can start today, it can start tomorrow. After 5 days, the next week, you get dispersed simply. Because my one thing I like about this in my thought process is, if I have an idea right now, and this is me, if I have an idea right now, the first thing I'm going to say to myself is, why didn't I think of this before? So I'm going to want reactions now. I'm going to want it now. So that's the reason that I make myself available. Because if someone says, I have a group and when can I get started? I'm not going to say, well, tomorrow. No, I'm going to say, let's get started right now, because that's the way that I am. Then after the 5 days of training, then you just go into your once a week. The disbursements, whatever day that you select, would be the day that you all get dispersed. And it literally starts, if you start today is what, Thursday? It'll go Thursday. And because of the holidays, I will work over the weekend. I don't know if my supervisor would like that, but it's fine for me to work over the weekends. I will work over the weekends and ensure that you are dispersed next week. And that's it.
Wonderful. And then what are the most successful examples of businesses that have come through Grameen?
Okay, so again, if you look up Grameen America, first I start off with the J-Lo video. Secondly, we and I do believe, honestly, because Grameen America does not, we're not on Instagram. They didn't believe in doing social media. As a matter of fact, we just started Facebook just a couple of weeks ago. So they're not about advertising, because Grameen is almost like, you come into Grameen, as a nonprofit organization. And once you set up your center, that's where I say it's like a private club. No one is allowed to come in. Like, I can't say, oh, hey, I got some ladies I want to join to your group. No, you all decide who comes into the group and who actually, if they're not doing their part, who was kicked out of the group. The pitching is done. I can't say, oh, everyone wants, $1,500. So let me just write, well, I'm not writing a check, but, let's get them $1,500. The group has to decide on that. So Grameen America, again, if you go, you'll see where Grameen America was on Good Morning America. And one of our success stories, there is a lady, she's on 125th Street. And she's going to, probably get a lot of people have talked to her, because I use her as an example all the time. She has a turquoise truck. And she was actually on Good Morning America. She's someone that she started with just a vendor table. And she chose to only have the truck, because that is, which I think is genius, because she's able to move it around. And that's what she has chose as her store, as her brick and mortar store. Another lady, again, I was a member, and we've had ladies who, again, have started off as, with a vendor table, and they have now brick and mortars. There's two ladies that actually own the restaurant, Vegan Hood. They actually started by being a part of Grameen. And they also have, I believe they have entertainment spaces and a clothing line. Another prominent member is, I can't think of her name, but on 125th, she owns a brick and mortar brownstone. So she's someone they have brick and mortar stores. They're hairstylists. So, I'm not just saying, people who have clothing. There's accountants who, started off, very small, and they're making, if not six figures, close to six figures. The reason that these ladies are successful is just simply, right? If you are wanting to change your story, right? I'm somebody, here I go, I can't be crying, but, I'm somebody who, I left Texas with a dream, right? So I've come from Texas to New York. That's a big deal for a Texan, to just say, because all my friends in Texas are like, where do you live? I'm like, I'm in New York. They don't believe it, because it's like I survived during COVID. But it's like, if you're serious about starting your business, and not even that, right? You're serious about just changing your financial story. You're serious about changing whatever it is. You take this money, right? A lot of people say, oh, I need more money. And I understand, people who want to buy more products, I need $10,000 right now. But if it's someone who's at the very beginning or just have an idea, you can take $1,500 and get your business started. Because once you get it started, my mindset is, how can I multiply this money? How can this money help make me more money? Mm-hmm. So you take this money and you say, this is what I'm going to do. You can literally change your life. When I started my yoga business in the worst case scenario. I mean, again, I'm in Texas, and people thought that I was nuts. I have 3 kids. My kids they're actually out of college. My daughter's the director of a nonprofit. My son, he does security. He works, they had full ride scholarships. My youngest son is here. He's an artist, but my kids are very, very successful, and they made it easy for me to be a single parent. When I started my yoga business, it was simply that I, was married to a guy in the Navy, and, life threw me a curveball, and, I come from a family who is, my parents just celebrate their 59th anniversary. I'm the only one in my family, including my aunt's cousins, brother, two brothers. I'm the only one that's divorced. So when I wanted to start a business, I wanted to be home with my kids. I first started a cleaning business, and I did all the work, just so I could pay rent, so I could pick my kids up and, take them to school. That was very important to me. My son goes to work, he's 23, and I want to say bye. And I want to say, hi, I want to be here. I want to know how his day has gone. Right. So at that time, I moved back. I was in Virginia. My ex-husband was Navy. I moved back to Texas. And, on top of being thrown a curveball, it's like, I guess I was being tested. Okay. You find your strengths, I guess, God is like, you know what? There's a lot more to you. I don't want to be tested. Well, guess what? You are. So at that time, I moved to Texas, had all of, my clothing and everything, moved into a house. Somebody was breaking in, and this is crazy. So I was homeless. This is crazy. And my family is there. I had no support, and my family is very strong. I felt like I was in a twilight zone. No support from family. I wound up being homeless. And on top of that, at least I can say I have a gym membership in a car. Well, my transmission went out. Okay. So I was on a bicycle. Nobody rides a bike in Texas. Everybody knows it gets hot in Texas. So I decided I wanted to start a business, and it was income tax time. So I got my income tax check. That's the reason I say I know the power of $1,500. My income tax check was $1,700. So I said, how can I take this money and turn this into 3 times its worth? So the first thing I did was I took a real estate class, because I said, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I know eventually I'm going to start a business. I trained as a yoga instructor, and I'm probably talking a little bit longer. I haven't told Mari all this, but I want to train as a yoga instructor. And it's like all the stars would just line it up, because I called this place and I said, I want to know about yoga. She thought I was inquiring about being a yoga instructor. And I was just like, I just want to take yoga. So I realized we were talking about 2 different things. And that was my first negotiation. And she said, the courses were for 2 years. I said, what if I give you 6 months and I come every day? So I wound up getting one-on-one training. And then after I got the training, I decided to teach yoga. I stopped by a chiropractic office, and I went in and I spoke with the lady, because I knew I was an athlete. My kids were athletes in college. So I was actually going to school to be a doctor before I got divorced. So I understood anatomy, physiology, how the muscles worked, just so I had things I could bring to the table. So I wind up having a yoga studio in a chiropractic office, not having to pay anything. I gave her a deal, which I call was a loan shark deal. I said, what if I'll give you 60% of whatever my clients bring in. At this point, I had no clients. I mean, I'm like, well, okay. So of course she said, okay. So after that, I said, okay, well, this is crazy. So by Friday, I got 10 clients. So that's actually how I got started. And all of my friends, thought that I was nuts, but then, I even had my friends, they said, Nikki, I thought that you would fail. My friends call me Nikki. They said, Nikki, I thought you would fail. And I said, I'm not going to fail, because I have 3 children that is relying on me to succeed. And I know that I'm their example. First of all, they're witnessing a divorce, which is something that I can't relate to, but I said, I can't fail. And so that's really how it took off. And that's really where I learned negotiations is by, not getting a no. So, yeah.
Very powerful story. I mean, I'm sure it's going to inspire a lot of people, because this is live right now, so they'll be able to see it later, and they're going to be very inspired by your strength and tenacity and just your encouragement and your vision to go forward, the way that you are inspiring other women to start businesses and make an incredible difference in people's lives. So that's amazing. I just have a couple more questions, and I think with Grameen, there's a lot of networking opportunities, because you got so many women from different walks of life who are, basically making, their dreams come true. They're bringing their visions to fruition. And I guess my question for you is, what are the networking opportunities? And then my last question will be about what business tips you have for businesses that want to get started with Grameen.
Okay. So in terms of networking, so we actually had our first networking event October 13th. And that was something that when I was a member, we all said that we all need to know everyone, especially here in New York. We need to have an opportunity to know all of the other businesses because I just knew the ladies that was in my center. So we had our first event October 13th, and the founder came down, Professor Muhammad Yunus, Alethea Mendez, who is the division president, and the CEO, which is Adrian. I can't say her last name, so I'm gonna keep myself innocent and just say her first name.
Okay.
So she came down. So that was our first event, and it was held with one of our partnerships, TD Bank. They allowed us the space, which is on 125th in Frederick Douglass. They allowed us the space to have the event. Now going forward, it was a very nice event. It was Mari was there. It was a beautiful event. So going forward, we said we should have these things more often. So quarterly, in terms of networking with Grameen, and just knowing the ladies, because I think uh, there's power in networking with your group. Because what I mean by that is, like, say for an example, you have someone who is doing web design, you have someone who does clothing, you have someone who has a restaurant. There's networking opportunities always. And being from Texas, I'm a loyal kind of person. So I think it's good to start with the people in your group, and start there, give them business or send them business your way. So that is something that we're looking to have quarterly, because the event was a very successful. So that is a way of networking. Also, Mari is working on, and we have had talks, and even with other people, is how can Grameen, again, like, instead of just having like a meet and greet kind of thing and you're talking, have an opportunity where ladies can vend, ladies can show off the work that they do, and then individually have just maybe like Mari talks about pop-ups. That's something that when I did commercial in Virginia, we did pop-ups in like vacant spaces. I would kind of negotiate. It's like, hey, it's empty. How about you make your business look busy? So that was a good selling point. But the vending is something that's very new to me in New York. So we do have a lot of vendors, and it's just a way to maybe have an event where vendors can show their work. So those are things that we're going to do going forward, because it was very, very, very beneficial in terms of just having those networking events and just bouncing ideas off of each other. Now, in terms of tips of getting your business started, now this is where I'm very passionate. This is really the reason that I'm working for Grameen, because my plate is very full. I mean, it's very full, but I'm very passionate because and Mari and I has talked about this before, that this is an opportunity where first and foremost, it can change people's lives. It can change your bottom line, whether you're a single parent or whether you're married. It's a way, going back to the reason that Professor Yunus is started Grameen, is to give an individual a sense of empowerment. Sometimes, even if it's not empowerment, some people get offended or don't like to hear that word. But it's just a sense of, like, I'm doing something, right? My son, he's 23, he came down here, and what was stressing him is simply because he didn't have a job. He wanted to be able to go to the store and just buy his own deodorant, and that is something that people find joy in, able to, do things for themselves. So even if it's just that, it's an opportunity, to change your bottom line. Secondly, it's an opportunity for those, ladies, who are single parents, this is the reason I'm here, who are in situations that they need to get out of. This is an out, this is a way that you can, start your business and really connect with the ladies, because we are all, you're in a group of minority women, we can understand, right? So That's the power in being in this group. But tips on starting the business, with our center, you have a lot of entrepreneurs. You have a lot of ladies who would be in centers that you're in who have been in business for over 20 some years. I just actually started a center with Sisters Uptown Bookstore. And that's just one. There's Carriage Street. They've been in business. Uptown Sisters, she's been in business for 22 years. We have a lot of ladies who've been in business and know how to get a brick and mortar, who have started from humble beginnings and they have a good success story. We have ladies in groups who are now, getting grants and they're doing deals with Coca-Cola. So you're around ladies who can help you, who you can ask, what do I do next? And because, you're around other business owners. I'm a business owner, so I'm not just going to say, oh, I have an idea and have not seen it. I'm someone who have started from a humble beginning, not a beginning that, I wish had happened, but, I am somebody who chose not to be a victim of my circumstance. So the tips is, you come in and you ask questions, I'm somebody, I will give my direct number because we have to be, we have to come together, as women to empower us, especially minority women. I'm a very, very, very strong believer in that. But, in terms of tips, what I didn't go to school for business. The first thing I did was I got online. I was in Texas and I looked up starting a business in Texas. And that's where I took it off, right? You're in New York, starting a business in New York. And, you'll go, there's all of these lawyer options. I say skip those and go straight to the New York Department. What is it called here? The New York Department of
Small Business Service.
Yes, it's where you would get your business license. It's Department of oh my God. I don't know.
Services.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. You get everything there, but they give you and they have videos in terms of what to do next. So I believe on pulling on resources. There's so many resources here in the community that will provide, your Small Business Development Center. Ask people, go to those people and ask, I have a business idea, where do I start? But again, I'm somebody who is available. I would share any information, because I think, again, I'm working for Grameen because I believe in Grameen's mission. I believe in what Grameen can do for someone. Again, I'm someone who was married to a Navy guy. So I was going to be a doctor. My life was perfect, by my design. And it's life threw me a curveball. And because I started my business, that was my out, so you have people like us who have experiences and, so it's just, again, Google starting a business in NYC. That's what I did. and that's just where it started. And, even without, oh, I don't have a business plan, have an idea. Everything starts with an idea. And even without a business plan, that's fine. But think it through. Think it through. If I was to have this business, what would I do? Start with the things that you like, the things that, they always say, if I could only get paid for doing this, what would that be? And find a way to make money at it. I started off in the entertainment business as an actor. And that's what I had to do. Find a way to make money at it. Right. So if I could only do this blank, how can I make money at it? How can I find a way to make money at it? And that's where you start. And that's the beginning of your business plan, because it's your thought process, right at the pros and cons, that's hopefully I answered it. I'm not sure if I did.
Wonderful. Excellent job. I must say, every time you share your presentation, you share your story, it just provides so much inspiration and strength to so many people. I don't think you even know it. Like you just have a wonderful presence and such a positive, uplifting spirit. So I think that's a wonderful thing. And I'm dedicating this particular Zoom / YouTube live to Victoria Horsford, a friend of mine that served on Manhattan Community Board 10. And I just love her family. Her family has always been like such a major force in Harlem. They have the Cove Lounge. I mean, just a flourishing family in the community. And so I just want to dedicate this to her and her memory, and also to Reverend Buds, who was a very strong proponent of economic empowerment in the community as well. So no, I just want to thank you, Nicole, for your time today, for sharing your story, for being courageous enough to share, real experience, and also to give hope to other women who are looking for opportunities. This is something, SBS is wonderful. And I worked there, and I worked in the mayor's office, and it's a wonderful opportunity to, reach out to businesses, but there's nothing like Grameen. Like, this is just a amazing phenomenon that I am so grateful that Professor Eunice started. I'm grateful that the Nobel Peace Prize, that they honored him and that they recognized him for what he's doing, because he is freeing so many women and giving so many opportunities to so many people. I'm glad Jennifer Lopez is a brand ambassador, because she's a go-getter, business owner. I mean, I was rocking her J-Lo jeans and, and her clothing line. And I mean, she has all kinds of yeah. She can share a lot of tips, I'm sure, about businesses, entrepreneurship and so forth. So I'm looking forward to what Grameen will do that's going to be next level. And again, thank you again for sharing your story. Any last words of inspiration?
It's 2022 at the very end, and I don't believe in resolutions. I believe in setting goals. And, I just say, now, today, start planning for next year. Don't wait until next year to plan for next year. Have your goals set. And just, look for the future. I mean, Grameen is here. This is a resource in terms of getting funding. And I would say, so that is a box that can be checked. Okay, I found that. Now, for those who want to start a business, grow or expand your business, again, I'm just going to repeat, just know that this is a resource. And we have questions. No, we don't have questions. I mean, if you have any questions, feel free. As they always say in school, no question is, a dumb question. Questions are good, because everyone needs to be strong and secure in whatever endeavor that they're doing. So that's it. And I wish everyone luck. And thank you, Maury, for having me.
Yes, happy holidays to everyone. We may have one more this week before the holiday, before Christmas, but we just want to make sure that we're spreading the knowledge and information about Grameen Bank and the amazing opportunities that are available to women businesses who really need. I mean, women are some of the underserved population. We really have to do positive things in that specific area. And I'm just so grateful that Grameen is doing that work. Peace, love, and power to the people, baby. All right. Have a good evening, everyone.